Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Zeke and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a snowflake using 35 lines of code in Tinkercad's code blocks. I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone who supported my channel previously. It means a lot to me that I'm over 100 subscribers. If you'd like to see my previous videos where I show you how to make a snowflake using 10 lines of code, 14 lines of code, 20 lines, or 25 lines of code, a link to the playlist will be on screen and in the video description. That being said, let's get into this one. The first thing that we'll do is click Create a new code blocks design. Once we load in, we're going to change the name of our design to something that's easy to find in this future. And now we can get making. The first thing that we're going to do is scroll down in the Shapes tab and drag in a star. We'll click on this little arrow to reveal some new options, and we're going to change the sides of our star to be 6. We'll change the radius to be 25 and the height to be 2. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see better. After that, we'll drag in another star. This one we're going to change into a hole by clicking on this little circle here. We'll click on that arrow and we'll change the sides to be 6. The radius we will keep at 20. After that, we'll drag in a create group command. We'll go back to the shapes command and we'll drag in another star. This one will adjust the sides to be 6. The radius will be 15, and the height will be 2. We'll drag in another star. This one will change again to be a hole, and we'll change the sides to be 6, and the radius of this one will be 10. Then we can drag in another create group command. Next, we'll go back to shapes, and we'll drag in a box. We'll click on this little arrow, and we're going to adjust the parameters of our box a bit. We want the width to be 3, the length will be 60, and the height will be 2. We'll drag in another star, and we'll turn this one into a hole. The sides will change to 6, and the radius will change to 10. Then we can drag in a create group command, press play, and test our work so far. Great! Now we can start making the rest of our star. We're going to be adding some little details onto the end to make it more beautiful and look more like a snowflake. In order to do that, we'll go back to the Shapes tab and we'll drag in a box. We'll open this little menu up and we're going to adjust the size of this box a bit. We're going to set the width to be 2, the length to be 8, and the height to be 2 as well. Then we're going to drag in a move command, and we're going to move to an X of 3, a Y of 22, and Z will remain 0. Next we'll drag in a rotate command, and we're going to rotate along the Z axis, and we're going to rotate by 45 degrees. Now, we're going to need a grand total of 8 of these boxes, move commands and rotate commands, and while we could drag and drop and edit every single one, we can save ourselves a little bit of work by right-clicking on the original, selecting duplicate, and adding it to the end of our code. Now we don't need to adjust the parameters of our box at all, but we just need to adjust the move command, the rotate command. I'm going to change the move command so that it moves to an X of -3, and it's going to move to a Y of 22. It is going to rotate around the Z axis, but instead it's going to rotate by -45 degrees. After that, I can duplicate the box, put it to the bottom, And this one I'm going to change also. This one is going to move to an x of 3, but the y I'm going to change to 25. I will rotate around the z-axis, but I'm going to rotate by 135 degrees. I'll right-click and duplicate again. And this one I'm going to send to an x of -3, and the y will be 25. I'm going to change it so that it rotates around the z-axis by -135 degrees. Right-click and duplicate, add to the bottom. I believe this is our 4th so far. And we are going to change the x value of this move command to be 3, and the y will be 30. We are going to rotate around the z-axis, but we're going to rotate to 135 degrees. We'll right-click and duplicate once again, and add that to the bottom. And we'll adjust the move command. The x will be -3, the y will be 30, but the z is going to rotate around the z is going to rotate by -135 degrees. Now, if we hit play, we can check our work so far. There's our star and the little shapes that we've added onto it. Everything looks good. The next step that we need to do is we need to make the lengths of the two sides even. This is so that when it's time for us to rotate our shape, it rotates evenly. If the lengths are different on either side, it won't rotate well. In order to do that, what we will do is go back to our code, and we're going to copy this box again. We'll add it to the bottom, but this time we're going to move to an x of 3 and a y of -30. This is to move this shape to the other side. We are going to rotate on the z-axis, but we're going to rotate by 45 degrees. This is the final duplication, I promise. We'll duplicate to the bottom. We are going to move to an x of -3. Y will be -30. We are going to rotate around the z-axis, but if you haven't caught on yet, we're going to rotate by -45 this time. Finally, we can drag in a Create Group tab. Now pressing play, we can see our work so far. There's what we did so far. And the next step should be adding these two shapes to the end. Perfect. These shapes in the middle don't matter because the length is being even on either side of this axis of symmetry is what we really care about. Now, in order to rotate our shape easily, we're going to drag in a repeat command, the orange control tab, and then we are going to drag in a copy command. And next, we'll drag in a rotate command. We're going to rotate on the z-axis by 60 degrees. And we're going to set this to rotate 5 times. Pressing play, we should see our completed snowflake now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found these videos interesting and you were able to create some great decorations that you're able to use at home or give to friends and family. I'd like to give people a small update on the moving gyroscopic snowflake. That video is taking a little while. People might have seen my live stream, but the final product was not quite up to my standards, so I'm revising it. If you'd like to be kept updated about when that video comes out, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel so that you are updated I hope I can finish it by Christmas, but if not, I'll release it all the same. Either way, I'm Zeke, and thank you very much for watching my video. Bye!